Hello, little ones. I'm your friendly storyteller, and I have a magical tale to share with you today. Once upon a time, in a land not so far away, there was an enchanted place called the Bouncy Ball Forest. Now you might be wondering, what makes this forest so special? Well, in this forest, the trees didn't grow ordinary leaves or fruits. Instead, they grew the most wonderful, colorful bouncy balls you could ever imagine. Every morning, the children from the nearby village would skip to the forest, their eyes wide with excitement. They would reach up to the branches and pluck fresh bouncy balls, as if picking the juiciest apples. The air would fill with the sound of laughter and the boing-boing of bouncing balls. Children would play catch, have bouncing races, and even try to juggle with the magical balls. It was a place of pure joy and endless fun, where worries seemed to bounce away with each hop of a ball. But remember, little ones, even in the happiest of places, sometimes people can feel sad or upset. The bouncy balls seem to have a life of their own, leading children on merry chases through the forest. Sometimes the whole village would come together for grand bouncy ball games. The games could go on for hours, with the balls bouncing higher and higher. From above, the Bouncy Ball Forest was a sea of colors, alive with movement and joy. One sunny day, a little boy named Taro came to the forest. Usually, Taro loved playing in the Bouncy Ball Forest, but today was different. You see, Taro had a bad day at school. He didn't do well on his test, and some kids had teased him. As he entered the forest, instead of feeling happy, Taro felt a big, heavy sadness in his heart. Taro sat under a bouncy ball tree, and his eyes started to fill with tears. Now, it's important to know that it's okay to cry when you're sad. Crying can help us feel better. But Taro didn't just cry a little. He began to cry louder and louder. Suddenly, something strange began to happen in the Bouncy Ball Forest. The bouncy balls on the trees started to shake. Wiggle, 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 and then plop, plop, plop. The balls began to fall from the trees. Taro cried so much that his tears began to flood the entire forest. The bouncy balls floated on the water, bobbing up and down like little boats. Soon all the bouncy balls had fallen from the trees, and the tree trunks were underwater. It was as if the whole forest had turned into a giant, soggy swimming pool. When Taro finally ran out of tears and opened his eyes, he was shocked by what he saw. The once happy Bouncy Ball Forest was now a big, wet puddle. The other children stood at the edge of the water, looking sad and confused. Taro felt terrible. He hadn't meant to cause so much trouble with his tears. He realized that by letting his emotions get so out of control, he had washed away everyone's fun. Taro learned an important lesson that day. It's okay to feel upset, but it's also important to try and calm down, because if we let our emotions get too big, we might wash away all the happiness around us, just like Taro did. From that day on, Taro practiced taking deep breaths when he felt upset. He learned to talk about his feelings with his friends and family instead of keeping them bottled up inside. And you know what? Slowly but surely, the Bouncy Ball Forest began to grow again. New trees sprouted and tiny bouncy balls began to appear on their branches. The children, including Taro, worked together to help the forest recover. They planted seeds, watered the young trees, and took extra special care of each new bouncy ball. And soon the forest was full of laughter and fun once more. Remember, little ones, it's okay to cry and be upset. Our feelings are important, but it's also important to learn how to calm ourselves down when we're feeling overwhelmed. So the next time you feel upset, take a deep breath, count to 10, or talk to someone you trust. And who knows? You might just save your own Bouncy Ball Forest of happiness.